Welcome back to AFTV, everyone. Now, you know to get excited about transfer news when the information starts pouring out, and that is exactly what's happening when it comes to David Raya. Not so much because there's been a load of updates specifically today, but ever since we first heard that Arsenal were exploring the deal, according to David Ornstein, we've had Fabrizio Romano and other journalists like James Bench say if it's a straight shootout with Bayern Munich, Arsenal are the destination that David Raya would want. We've been hearing that Bayern Munich have since pulled out of the race. We've heard that from German reporters as well. And now the latest coming from Fabrizio Romano. Here's the tweet. He understands that David Raya has reached an agreement in principle with Arsenal on personal terms. Brentford have been informed by the player side that he wants to join Arsenal, and talks between clubs over the formula/price are now expected to accelerate. So we're going to break that down in a second, but essentially Arsenal are making a real move here for David Raya. Sometimes when you hear words like exploring, scouting, whatever words are used, you know, you can put them all in the comment section below. What are your favourite transfer buzzwords? Sometimes when you hear them, you just withdraw a little bit. It's like, well, what's really happening? How quickly is it going? And what can we expect? But when you start hearing that things like personal terms are agreed, that there is an agreement in principle in place, as long as the clubs agree what they want to do in terms of a fee, you start to think, wow, the clubs really have every intention of doing this, because Arsenal have been on a phone or been in the meeting or whatever with David Raya and his representatives and put an offer that he is willing to accept out there, that he is willing to sign should Arsenal get the fee sorted with Brentford. That suggests to me that Arsenal are really serious about getting this deal for David Raya done, which still surprises me. I've been talking about it, on various platforms and various shows, and I've been saying, look, I like David Raya. I love the idea of competition. How does this look for the long term, and what does it mean for Aaron Ramsdale? But Arsenal are certainly moving ahead with this as far as we know. So let's just try and break this down a little bit. And I must add as well that Arsenal must feel confident that they can get to a fee Brentford would be happy with if they're willing to go this far in terms of understanding personal terms. And like I said, it's really making its way to certain mainstream media. But let's just talk about this quickly. So Romano says that he understands that an agreement has been reached in principle with Arsenal. Now, what I imagine that means is personal terms, should Arsenal and Brentford agree a fee, is all good. I think they've basically said, are you happy with set amount a week on this length of contract with this bonuses, but with this kind of role in the squad, that you will be fighting it out with Aaron Ramsdale, and that there is no promise that you're going to be the number one. By the way, there might be. I'm just sort of making a situation up here. That's all been agreed. They're happy. He's happy to go, yeah, put that in writing when you legally can or whatever, and I will sign it when I legally can. Now, Brentford have been informed by the player side that he wants to join Arsenal. And we heard everything about him saying that he prefers Arsenal to Bayern Munich. It looks like he's now said to the club, listen, I want to join Arsenal. If you can do a deal, please do this. And that will put Brentford under a little bit of pressure to also try and get to a fee that Arsenal will be happy to do as well. He then says talks between clubs over formula/price are now expected to accelerate. Now, the formula bit will essentially be because, look, we saw it with Declan Rice, a certain amount up front, certain bonuses, certain add-ons, certain instalments over so many years. That will all be discussed. But what is that final fee going to be, and how much are Arsenal willing to go up to when it comes to David Raya? Because, not Man United, I was about to say Man United, Tottenham, I don't think we're willing to get up to about 40 million. And then other clubs like Chelsea, like Man United, who were looking for goalkeepers, okay, Man United have addressed that now, aren't looking at David Raya, and you'd think that's a really great option. So Brentford aren't going to be just giving him away in, football terms, 15, 20 million. They're going to want to command a high fee, and Thomas Frank has said that. Thomas Frank has said, look at other players, they've only had a year on their contract, what they're going for, because they're just simply quality, and Brentford aren't going to deal with it any differently. So what will Arsenal be willing to come up to? What will Brentford be willing to come down to? I think if you told me right now that this deal does get done, and you asked me to predict what it will be, I think 32 to 33 million will probably do it, maybe 35. I think Brentford will hold strong, but they've already signed their replacement. They know he's only got a year left, and I don't think there's a massive queue of clubs willing to do a deal, especially when Bayern are offering things like loans, which don't make sense when he's got a year left. So I think they'll do a deal around the 30 to 33 million pound mark, which would make him a more expensive goalkeeper than Aaron Ramsdale was when Arsenal signed him only 2 summers ago. So it's very interesting. I know I say this a lot. I say everything's very interesting and fascinating and all that. But I really do think this is one that when you look at what Arsenal might be willing to pay, it's going to tell you what they'll be thinking of him in terms of this role in the squad. And then there's a lot to learn about, whether Aaron Ramsdale starts the season and what games, Raya's going to play. We've heard that he'll be predominantly a cup goalkeeper. Does that include the Champions League? And how does Ramsdale feel about that? Is Ramsdale happy to just not play the Champions League, the competition he's worked so hard to get Arsenal back into? Lots of questions. I want to know your thoughts in the comments below as well. We will be keeping you up to date with everything that's going on with this transfer story. It is accelerating, it is moving ahead, and of course we'll be covering it all on AFTV. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to AFTV as well, and we'll see you very soon with hopefully more updates about David Raya and other incomings as well.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.